Hi, this is Cindy Abbott Letro for Behind the Camera. And if you've been driving around the streets of Buffalo, you have probably seen what looks like a major movie taking place here in Buffalo. And it is. And we are lucky to have the producer with us, Jamie Buckner, who has been to Buffalo, what, 3 times before?
For 3 full projects, and then I had a little bit of a false start on a 4th one. That was my first go-round. But yeah, I've been back a few times. I love it here.
Oh, well, that's great. I mean, what is it about Buffalo that you find, welcoming, good for you as a filmmaker?
Sure. I mean, it's a city of good neighbors, right? Which it's proven itself to me multiple times. I lived in Brooklyn, New York for 16 years, all the way up until the pandemic. And then wife and I moved up to the Catskills, so the Hudson Valley. So we have settled in there, and we've kind of become mountain people. She's from Ohio originally. I'm from Kentucky. And we sort of found our place up there. We love the city. We're back all the time. But then when I first started coming to Buffalo, I realized this is a little piece of the Midwest right here in New York State. Like, it feels very Rust Belt, very Midwestern, very just like salt of the earth people. And, it's just different. It's sort of, it's not yet burnt out in the way like a New York City is, or a Los Angeles or an Atlanta, for people just be, another movie's here in town. People are genuinely excited, genuinely welcoming. Locations we find are wonderful. The local crew is wonderful. It's honestly, short of sleeping in my own bed in the Hudson Valley, I think it's at least top 5 favorite places to make a movie. But I love it because it's also a quick drive for me, right on the thruway. I make like 2 turns and I'm in Buffalo. So it's great. I just really love it. It's just a really good experience, and to be able to share that with different, production companies, studios has been, it's just really nice. And it really is. I joke that Buffalo, one of the best parts of Buffalo is just it makes me look good. Essentially, it's about,
in what way does it?
I just really, this current studio, this current, team of folks from LA, and just like from the studio to the other producers to everything, are just like, we've been joking that we want to print up T-shirts that say Buffalo, who knew? And which goes to the whole keep Buffalo a secret.
Well, that's why it is great. There are T-shirts and pennants now that say keep Buffalo a secret.
Exactly.
But part of it, I mean, as somebody that lived in Brooklyn and lives in New York State, you understand. I mean, New York State has a welcoming atmosphere and tax credits.
Absolutely.
For filmmakers, plus Buffalo as well.
Buffalo, well, the tax credit is a huge thing. I've been emailing with Governor Hochul's office for some time, and then especially the new updates to the tax incentive are immense. You've got a 30% base tax credit. You've got another 10% for any county essentially north of Westchester. So the vast majority of the state, you shoot a movie in Buffalo and Syracuse and Binghamton and the Adirondacks, you're going to get that additional 10%. And then there's another 10% you can get on top of that if you're working for, a studio entity that has already committed a certain, amount of millions of dollars. So there's a lot of real benefits to the tax credit, especially this update.
Well, the folks that are involved, of which I've been one for a long time with the Film Commission, it's been a long time coming. But are you seeing a change in the creative base? Are you able to get enough crew? How do you balance that? Because when this all first started many years ago, everybody had to be imported, really.
It's, it's really, that comes with time, and they saw this in, years back, it was in Louisiana, lately it's been in Georgia, and, that's, unfortunately, I think that wave is kind of leaving Georgia. But like within New York, people are always going to shoot in New York, but are they always going to want to shoot in New York State? Not necessarily. So we need these incentives. And a lot of that, you can't just pass the legislation and then the movies will come. And I said this trying to help pass an incentive in Kentucky for a long time. You can have the incentive and you can have that be really attractive, but if you don't have the infrastructure, which is the stages, you've got both Buffalo Film Works here in Buffalo and the
on Niagara Street.
It's on the one on Niagara Street, basically. Sure. I think it's a Lionsgate partnered facility. So you've got 2 studios here. That's a great start. You've got some really wonderful department head crew base here. Like our Grip and Electric, our local on this project. Costumes, you've got hair and makeup, you've got some really wonderful key creative crew positions here. And the more projects we do and the better those tax incentives are and the longer they can stick around the more that infrastructure gets dug in. So then you have those people have more credits and they have more experience, which means when people come in, they're more comfortable saying like, oh, this is great. You have people here that can do these positions already, and we don't have to bring in people from New York City or LA or Canada or wherever else all happens. So I'd have to do the specific math, but I think on this particular project, we're looking at somewhere between like 75 and 80% local crew, I think.
That's great.
It's if you come in and the folks at the top have the right attitude, which is, the studio and myself, basically, we're really committed to hiring as many people locally as possible. You can do that, and it's just going to get better over time.
This is your fourth movie that you've made in Buffalo. This is a big movie. I mean, it's with Warner Brothers. I don't think I'm giving anything away.
New Line Cinema, technically. Yeah, which is a subsidiary. So
it's still a big. That's a big.
We're smaller, big movie. Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So, what kinds of movies interest you?
Interest me.
I mean, what makes you want to make that movie?
I mean, I just like telling stories. Really, I've said I've boiled it down over the last little bit. To 4 words, and it's really just good stories, good people. So that's what interests me, is being a storyteller and being able to work with good people. It's a very collaborative machine, filmmaking. My father made washing machines on an assembly line for General Electric for 37 years, and I joked that I'm kind of in the same business, except for I make entertainment, and he made washing machines.
Well, what's interesting with entertainment and with films is that they're all unique and different, but there is a certain sameness to how you have to go about producing them.
It is. We're producing. We are creating a product. Really, it's very. I do get to go to red carpets and premieres and hobnob with actors a lot, but I also I tell my family all the time, you'd be stunned how much of my day is spent dealing with bathrooms and trash collecting. We are a moving circus of misfit toy types, and we play make-believe for a living, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I love that description. A moving circus.
Yeah.
I love that. Jamie Buckner, thanks you for being in Buffalo, and thank you for making this film and continuing to come back here. We like it that this is your second favorite place. All right. Well, that is it. That wraps it up for this episode of Behind the Camera. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.